fire exit door, Flighty. There's well, don't go out the front, otherwise you'll be mincemeat. Go out the back. Just throw out, and because we do have some. It is a nice propeller plane. But yeah, welcome everybody. This is JETSTREAMERS. This is a pilot episode of JETSTREAMERS with the one, the only FlightyBroad. We're going to be flying from Cardiff, which is where I am, all the way to Amsterdam. But yeah, I'm joined by FlightyBroad, who is a variety streamer from the United States of America. Welcome, Flighty. Welcome to the podcast. Is there anything is there anything related to Amsterdam that you have in your heart?
Well, I mean, obviously, I want to go there because it has the most museums per capita in the entire world.
Is that true?
It is. It is absolutely true. I am a bit of a museum nut, so I really want to go there and get blasted and get super high and then go to all of the museums.
That sounds brilliant. Okay, so we're going to take off. Now, this should be fun. So I'm going to kick in. I've got my fancy joystick here. Just wait for the engines to properly kick in, and then we will take off. And as soon as we're at cruising altitude, I'll let the AI driver take over. Sorry, the AI, the autopilot or the co-pilot. No,
I'm prostitute. That's why I want to go there as well.
Excellent. All right, so we're gonna hopefully get to the right speed before we reach the end of the tarmac. That would be positive. Little Leg says, I already love Flighty. Excellent. Who doesn't? All right, we are up in the air. We've made it.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
There we are.
I never thought I could feel so free.
Now I've got to kind of carefully...
Oh boy. We're kind of swinging there a little bit, huh?
We're into... I hope your drinks are finished. Because otherwise they're going to be all over these controls. So we're just going to start off. Actually, I've never flown a plane before. I know nothing about aeroplanes. I just know Cardiff is in Wales and Amsterdam is in the Netherlands, and we're going to go from one to the other. So what more could you need? Chug the wine.
I have never been to either city before.
Have you not? Oh, I thought you had done.
I've been to Wales, but I have not been to Cardiff.
Where in Wales did you go?
I went to, it's like right on the top border. I drove there from Liverpool.
Oh, yeah. I actually went to Wales the very first time there as well, and it was by accident. Oh, we're getting stall messages. That's not a good idea. Yeah, no, I went the wrong way. I ended up going to the Wirral or something.
Where were you trying to go?
Liverpool.
Oh.
But my friend lived in the Wirral, and he was like, oh, you need to go and park park near my house. I was like, okay. And the Wirral is very close to Wales. And yeah, ended up just quickly going to Wales, and then I'm like, nope, don't want to go here. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so...
I was there during the spring, and while I was driving on the highway, there were so many sheep fucking each other.
Well,
it was
on the highway.
Ridiculous. No people fucking sheep, as I understand is the stereotype.
Yes.
So we can bust that myth right
Brilliant.
now.
Yeah. Great, we'll go straight into stereotypes right away. Sheep fucking Welsh stereotypes. Well, don't worry, once we get to Amsterdam, I'm sure there's a few stereotypes we can talk about there. Brilliant. Just sheep on sheep thing, yeah. Well, actually, the very first time I went to Wales properly, when I wanted to go to Wales, I went by train, and I fell asleep on the train, and I woke up as we were going on the way to Cardiff, and I woke up and looked out the window, and it was a field of sheep. So I was like, yep, that's Wales for you. But anyway, we're not here to talk about sheep sex. We are here to talk about the one, the only, my co-pilot, ThatFlightyBroad. And I've got to say, we are flying with FlightyBroad. I didn't even think about that until afterwards.
Oh, that was like I thought that was one of the reasons why you asked me to come along.
Of course not. No, the main reason is that we all love FlightyBroad. So, Flighty, let's start at the beginning. So, why did you decide one day? We're going to talk to you about your streaming career, your gaming career, and your future and your past and your present and all that.
Okay, get invasive.
Yeah, we will. Hopefully we'll be able to answer all these questions by the time we get to Amsterdam. But first, why did you decide that you wanted to stream?
Oh, man. It's nothing really complicated. I just like I saw that it was a thing. This was about maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, I would say. I saw that it was a thing, and I was like, that looks fun. I could do that. I'm funny, right? I'm funny. So then I just like got all my equipment together, and it was a very shoddy start. Because obviously there's good equipment and there's bad equipment as far as streaming goes, and whoo boy, it was a rough start. But I just kept kind of slowly upgrading, and here I am. You can almost see all of my pores with this camera, which, as I understand, is a hallmark of a very expensive webcam.
Oh yeah, look how shiny my head is right now. I mean, it might be because I've been streaming for 8 hours, but also, yeah, it picks up everything.
It is a beacon.
Yeah.
A beacon of hope.
But you've been upgrading. You're always upgrading. Didn't you just recently upgrade?
I just got a new CPU specifically so I could play Death Stranding on stream.
Brilliant. We're gonna come on to Death Stranding in a bit because yeah, I've been absolutely loving watching you play that lately. Like I often have a few streams up on my up on my tabs and stuff, but there's usually like one that I'll hang out with. And lately I've been really just enjoying you playing Death Stranding. But
it's been so nice having you.
Oh, I really enjoy it, and I love seeing other people play that game because it's very special to me. But first, why do you enjoy streaming? Why do you enjoy streaming so much? And also, this is the pilot episode, so in the chat, if for example the sound's a bit quiet, or you need me to turn up somebody or turn down somebody, or oh my god, we are going to crash, as Delphro just said, it's the co-pilot. Can I just say, the co-pilot is fine. The only problem is if I skip to another part of the journey, for some reason the co-pilot just fucking sends the nose into the sea. Every single time I do that, if I've got the co-pilot turned on and I skip to another part of the journey, I don't know what happens, but the airplane just goes nose down. So we won't be doing that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, so Flighty, why do you enjoy streaming? What makes you click that button every day or whenever you're doing it?
I'm naturally kind of a performer, I would say. I don't necessarily enjoy being the center of attention, but I do like when I am in that position. I like being able to kind of, hold people's attention and then use that as a platform to like let people know what I'm all about, or to teach them something, or in the case of when I was a burlesque performer, show them my titties.
Yeah.
So
can't do that on Twitch.
Yeah. I can't do it.
No, and you do teach people, like some people come in, I've seen them in your chat and said some troll things, and normally I'm definitely someone who would do that. I just ban them. But you educate them, and you've educated trolls before, haven't you?
I have actually like converted trolls.
Yeah.
Because they'll, particularly one friend, I won't call them out, but they came into my stream talking about hentai, and
was it Andinus?
No, it wasn't Andine. But I just started like riffing with them and actually like talking with them about it, like with substance and knowledge, and they like, we had a lovely conversation with one another, and they informed me later that they were just trying to like fluster me on stream and weren't expecting like a high quality conversation.
Oh, that's wonderful. And they still stick around.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. You can educate them sometimes if they want to do.
Treating trolls with sincerity is the best tactic that I have, because trolls are doing their thing for a reason, and like they usually are taken aback when you like respond to them sincerely instead of giving them the response that they're looking for. They'll either just straight up leave, or they'll be curious, I've found. So it's been a pretty good tactic so far, I would say.
Nice. And what works for you? What kind of works for you in your streams? What have you, because you've been streaming for quite a while, right? When did you first start?
I first started, my earliest clip that I have found when my sound was still shitty and I didn't have a webcam was from 5 years ago.
Wow, longer than me.
Yeah, so, and back then I was doing it very sporadically, like maybe once or twice a month. So to make myself feel better, I like to like say, oh, I've been doing this for 5 years, but I actually like really started doing this about 3 years ago.
Okay, brilliant. And so in that time, how long, like what has worked for you? What have you found like to be your, because I don't know, for me, it's taken me years and years to kind of just find myself. I don't like using it because it's very cliche, but like to find who I am as a streamer, or to find to find out what my personality is on Twitch. I say Twitter, yeah, on Twitch. So what have you found works for you?
I suppose it depends on how you define what works. My goal has been to create just like a community of like good people who feel safe and comfortable when they're in my community. And the way that I achieved that was I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I was just myself, which is absolutely not for everyone. And I have never had huge numbers as far as people watching me goes. But the people who always come back and the people who are always there are they're very steadfast supporters of mine, and I think it's because my personality, while it is not for everyone, it like really clicks for some people.
Oh, brilliant. And it works. Yeah, because I've seen you play all sorts of games, and yeah, you don't really care when you look for a game to play, or whether because you don't always play games. What do you look for in a game?
Oh boy, I love playing weird stuff. Weird indie games is one of my loves, one of my lifelong loves. Before I played Death Stranding, I played a little game called Submerged. It was not an action-packed game, and it was not like mind-blowing, but it was still a satisfying experience. And that's kind of like what I'm looking for, is to just like be able to share those weird, sometimes boring experiences with people and just kind of discuss them with people who are watching them with me. And that usually helps me like banter when I'm on stream, as I like just kind of observe the environment, and that usually like kind of coaxes conversation out of people.
Yeah, and didn't you say that, I remember you saying once that your knitting stream was one of your most active and fun streams. Was it knitting you were doing?
I was actually, I was spinning yarn at the time. I had, it is still to this day, I got the most numbers of people just chilling and watching me. I think I had like 84 people in the chat.
As you were spinning yarn?
As I was spinning yarn, and I had like a weird, like, what is it called? Like an auto-generated like piano song in the background, so I wouldn't get any like DMCA strikes or like get silenced by Twitch. It was also the first plug that I ever made for a company that I really want to sponsor me, and that's actually one of my next goals, is to try and make that happen.
So you would like to be sponsored by a but in fact, goals is a question later on, so I'll let people you know, if you know, you know. If not, just wait until you find out what company Flighty would like to be sponsored by.
Hey, I see we have another spinner in the chat.
We have Penny as a spinner. Also, Happy Hansen in the chat says, don't land at Filton. Wikipedia says they closed the airport in 2012. Okay, we'll be landing there. What have you... Like, how did you find streaming at the very start? So, right at the very beginning, can you remember how, like, what you thought of streaming back then and, like, how it's different to now?
Oh, gosh. I can't remember really. My first streaming endeavors I did with my boyfriend of the time, and really it was just like, at that time it was just like a way to hang out with him and to like play games that we enjoyed together, and that was really like, I wasn't really viewing streaming as like a thing outside of that. It was a very kind of like, I was doing it for me, but like if other people wanted to join, they could kind of situation, which made it different than like just kind of like sitting on the couch and playing a game, for example.
Okay. And, but now obviously it's a much bigger, got a much bigger audience. But I do see your partners pop into chat as well. So you still
Yes.
keep it in the family.
Yes, indeed. I have two partners now, and they do. Mr. Flighty, my husband, typically pops his head in most often because I live with him, and he actually did that not too long ago. He popped in and gifted me a Switch and Animal Crossing. He
Yeah.
just likes to be like a really good husband. He likes to show off on
Oh.
my stream.
I wish mine would bring me a new Switch or and things like that.
Get on it, Dave.
I know. What have you learned? So from what you've known now, from what you know now about streaming, it's a really cliche question, but if you had to go back and tell yourself something right at the very beginning that would have made your life easier or more chilled or more understanding, what would you have told yourself?
I would have told myself, never ever look at how many people are in your chat. Never. Just don't even start. Just don't worry about it. Only pay attention to the chat and like if anybody is talking to you. That's all you really need to worry about. Because for myself personally, seeing those numbers stresses me out like inordinately. Like they should not stress me out that much, but they just do. So I think that would have made me a lot more relaxed at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was the same, although yeah, it took quite a while for me to learn to press that button to turn off the viewers. What do you have any advice now for people that are starting out?
Sorry.
In-flight,
Jesus Christ, everything is the worst right now. Oh
we have
my
an
God.
in-flight call. Oh no, is it emergency? We have an emergency.
No, not at all. It was spam.
Oh.
Advice that I would give a starting streamer. This is very difficult advice to follow, but literally only do it for yourself. If you do it for any other reason, you're gonna get real tired of it real fast. Because progress is slow when it comes to streaming, unless you are like one of the very few people who got very popular very quickly, or like who like came in on the back of the game trend by accident or on purpose.
Hello.
Just or like, people who like make friends with like famous bands in Norway or whatever, assholes like that.
Oh, that didn't help. I met a few people through that. Yeah. You think just do it because you want to do it, not because you want to be like, amazing.
Yeah, like start it as a hobby, like and like that's the best way really to do any kind of large task, is to just kind of start it as a hobby. Don't expect to get too deep in it, but do your best with it, with what you have, and then kind of decide from there if you want to continue forward with it.
Yeah. Right. Now, how do you find it? How do you find streaming as a member of the LGBTQIA plus community? Do you find that's caused any issues for you?
I don't. Probably somebody has like come into my chat and like called me a butch or whatever. But things like that are like so background noise for me that I don't really notice.
Yeah.
Also, like both of my partners are cis dudes right now, so it's being bi/pansexual that is like read as hetero. So a lot of people don't really like. That's not fuel for trolls.
Yeah. So you don't. Yeah, I mean, I've got to say I'm very, very lucky. I'm not sure. Like for me, I haven't had much abuse, but I know lots of people who have done. So I've been quite lucky in that case. But do you think?
Yeah.
What maybe causes some people to troll you? Because you do get some trolls. What do you think it is that's causing that? Is it just someone bored, or do you think they're picking on a specific label you got on there?
I mean, being fat is like, it's the thing du jour that people like to make fun of me for. But I've been fat for so long that it's just like, it doesn't bother me anymore.
Just own it.
It's like if somebody were making fun of me for having black hair, which I don't right now, obviously, but
ginger hair, now that's something.
I mean, pink is what it should be, but you know.
Pink. It's pink. It is pink. It's the colors of my screen that
Is it?
made it
Okay.
look.
I don't know, like, because I'm colorblind in my right eye, so
Ah.
I don't know these things sometimes.
Yeah, Bayleaf, who is fully colorblind, says, "Isn't that hair black?" Yeah, really, really colorblind. Okay, well, let's move on to like your gaming history and like all the games that you've played. Because how long have you been a gamer? Can you remember the first game you ever played?
Kind of. The first game, I couldn't even tell you what the name of it is. When my dad was a combat engineer in the army, so we moved around a lot. We got our very first desktop computer, I think, in like 1990, perhaps. And he got a game, my dad got a game that was like a point and click fantasy adventure thing. And like he would like let me do the thing, you know, like I was 5 at the time, like there's no way that I was able to like figure it out or like, you know, but I was able to like make the character move around on the screen, which to a 5-year-old fucking blows your mind, you
Yeah.
know. So that was the earliest memory that I have. But when I was about 9, 10 or so, I got a PlayStation,
Ooh.
where I played games like Rayman, Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII. And that's what really got me like super deep into video games was like kind of story heavy, you know, like Rayman, for example, really story heavy kind of like 3D games.
I would have, yeah, I think Rayman was one of my first games I ever played. But also, I said that was like the first game I played myself, but my dad had Windows 96 with Minesweeper. And Solitaire, I had absolutely no idea. I would just click on everything and hope that, you know, that the hope that the cars would move in a different
Yeah.
direction. No, I really, yeah, that is back in the day, 90 point and click. Do you ever play any like Broken Sword, that kind of point and click thing now?
I do not know what that is.
Broken Sword. Oh, that's the ultimate point and click. Point and
Oh.
click. Point and click. No. What was the first console that you had? Have you ever had a console? Because you've got the Switch now, but
The first console that I
had
ever
Rayman.
had was a Super Nintendo. The SNES, as I believe y'all call it over there.
SNES.
Um,
Yes. No,
yes,
the
the
only
SNES.
the only difference I think was the Mega Drive, because we had the Mega Drive and in the US it was the Genesis, the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, exactly. The first game that I owned and played frequently there was a platformer called Athena.
Ooh.
Um, and you just played the goddess Athena. You got like different weapons, and you like beat up on, you know, mythical creatures. And I never got past like the first or second level because platformers, they just did not click with me at all. I didn't understand what to do or how to move forward, but I still had a lot of fun with it. So
Yeah, that's all that matters. I was like that. My very first one was I had a SNES. Well, it wasn't mine. It was my sister. She lent it to me for a week. My older sister, she was visiting because she was staying with her mum. And yeah, she visited and brought over a SNES. And I remember playing that. And I remember playing Zelda. I can't remember which one it was on the SNES, but I just remember going around, smashing the pots and cutting the grass and getting the gems and having no idea where I was going. But I was running around this world and I loved it. And obviously
yes.
Mario Kart, and my Mario Kart love has gone on since. What, like, do you game off stream? That's a question I've got here. Like, do you ever play games when you're not streaming?
That's yes is the short answer.
Yeah.
So I have a difficult time deciding what games I want to stream, what games I want to record and put on YouTube, and what games I want to experience by myself as an individual, because there are some games that I feel are best consumed quietly and alone. For example, I have no intention of playing Journey online or recording it because I have been told repeatedly that it is best experienced by yourself.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And so I do have problems with that, kind of picking and choosing from there, but I do have games that I play offline. I play a lot of Warframe. Warframe is kind of like my wind down game. There's a lot of grinding in that game, a lot of farming, so that's kind of my like switch off. I've been playing through Shadow of the Tomb Raider after I'm done with streams lately. So basically, it's like, you know, I play my stream game, then I have dinner, and then I play my relaxy game until it's time to go to bed.
I've been doing that with Spiritfarer. I don't know if have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. Yeah, it looks really amazing.
Yes. Somebody suggested that it was where all the Animal Crossing villagers go to die once they've been evicted from your islands. They go on a boat to the great beyond.
I want it.
Yeah, as someone who's just lost Spike to the great beyond, I wish him well on his journey.
Aww.
What future games are you looking forward to in the future?
Oh,
wait, sorry, can I just skip? I've totally remembered. I've gone and skipped past a bunch of questions here. This is why I'm so professional and we're doing this. What game do you think in your life you've put the most time into?
Objectively, according to Steam, it's been Mass Effect 2.
Wow. How many hours?
I think I have a couple thousand hours.
What? How do you even get that many?
I mean, there are different like romance options. If you 100% it, it takes a while, and there are just so many different paths that you can take, and the paths aren't necessarily they're not that different from one another, but I was such a huge fangirl that I was just like, I have to find out. I have to experience it for myself. And then there were a few flukes where like, I have my favorite romances for sure, and like sometimes I just, you know, I'm weak. I have to date Garrus. It's like there's no question. So sometimes when I set out to like start one romance, I just get like seduced by that weird lizard bird thing, and you know I have to finish.
I've never played Mass Effect 2. I've got to admit, I've never played Mass Effect 2. I played a bit of the first when it first came out and was like cool, and played a bit of it and enjoyed it, but I didn't finish it. And then I was like, well, there's no point in me playing Mass Effect 2. And I've tried to recently go back to Mass Effect 1, but the controls are just so dodgy like right now.
Oh man, they're so bad. Like I really would love to do a full playthrough on stream, but God, the first Mass Effect's controls are just and the inventory management system is like it is not ideal in any way, shape, or form. So I really wish that they would do a remaster of it, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or like, but until then, I don't need that frustration in my life.
No. And even, yeah, because I remember I bought it and I played a little bit, and then someone was like, oh, if you download this controller thing, it'll give you some great support and you'll be able to use it well with the controller. Because apparently there's no controller support on PC. So you have to go and download something separately, like a mod, and I did that, and I was like, no, this is terrible. And then someone said, oh yeah, it's really bad on Xbox as well, so like it doesn't make any difference really.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd be able to put myself through 16, 17 hours of it to get to it. But yeah, a remaster would be great, even if it's just, you know, a little polish around the edges and improved control scheme. It seems like it's such a good story.
And yeah, like the story, like if you stick in there just long enough, the story will make it all worth it. But you have to be dedicated to it from the start, and it is really difficult to get past that like first like couple of missions to find out what the story is all about. So
yeah,
you know,
everyone says, oh my god, Mass Effect, what a game. Do you know, just to upset even more people, so I said that I haven't played Mass Effect 2 at all. I played the demo, I think, of Mass Effect 3, because I'm sure that like a demo came out, and I played a bit of Mass Effect 1, but I have completed Mass Effect Andromeda.
I haven't played that one yet. I have it, but I haven't played it yet.
I don't want to make any enemies, but I enjoyed it, and I played it as soon as it came out as well. So before they patched all the weird kind of drag queen makeup on all the characters, because it was literally like it looked like they'd told a straight man to go and like put makeup on all these women.
That's a really common problem with BioWare games. Like you'll be making a character, the character designer, but the lighting will be like dim candlelight or something like that. And then you'll start the game and it's like, I do not remember putting orange blush on my character's face.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 14 was like that. Because because everyone's like, when I was changing my the character's appearance on stream, and someone was like, whatever you do, make their lips really like brown. Don't make them red or pink or anything. Make them brown. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I think this looks fine anyway. And then came out, and I had this bright red lipstick in the light. I was like, well, okay, back I go. Pay another 2,000 gil to go and change my appearance again. Luke Boogie also says in the chat, fun fact, I really enjoy Andromeda, and I will not be taking questions at this time. Yeah, I feel like we've been bullied into not liking them, not liking Mass Effect. But I think the fact that I didn't play the original trilogy makes it so that there's not, to me, there's not a link there. And as a story on its own, it was totally fine.
Yeah, that was one of the best parts of it, I think, is that all of your games don't have to appeal to the same audience. I think a lot of gamers don't really have that connect, I feel, because the first Mass Effect had so many problems that they knew that they had to make adjustments in the second game, and it was a totally different game the second time around. Same thing with the third, and same thing with Andromeda, and that's just that's just how design works, you know.
Yeah, they've all got their own little things. Yeah, Mass Effect 3, didn't they patch the ending because it was so people hated it so much?
Yeah, you know, when you spend 1,000 hours with the same character and you're not happy with the ending, I guess that is the end of the world, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I haven't got there. Maybe I think one day I will. I'm sure they'll Mass Effect it. They'll remaster. They'll re-Mass Effect it.
Yes.
I'm sure they will, and I will 100% play it because I love RPGs. I love space RPGs. I love good stories. It just ticks all the right boxes for me. But yeah, trying to play it. Ugh. Give us the combat in Mass Effect Andromeda was great. So maybe they could just kind of bring that over or something. Static, by the way, says, I want you to dress as your Final Fantasy 14 character. Static, have you seen my Final Fantasy 14 character? Gus, unless you're a furry, then I don't know if you'd want me to dress as my Final Fantasy 14 character. Outing himself. Have you ever done a cosplay? That wasn't one of the questions, but have you ever done a cosplay? Yeah, here we go. Just a random question. Like, just off the top of my head. Have you ever done cosplay? And if not, or even if so, who would you like to cosplay?
I have done cosplay before. I have cosplayed as the medic from Team Fortress 2. I was walking around the con that I went to as a cosplay medic. So I had like sewing kits with me and like hot glue guns, and that was before
sewing kit and a hot glue gun. That sounds like I'd be terrified if I like had a fall and someone came to me with those.
Listen, hot glue is great for closing up wounds until you get to the hospital.
Yeah, and then they go, what's happened here? It's going green. We'll try and save it.
I did do some very mild cosplay, kind of, when I played Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on Steam. I kind of like did my makeup and wore like a fur thing. I wish that I could manage to see things without my glasses. I feel like that would have made it more authentic, but I had to be a Viking with modern specs, or else I would not have been able to get through that.
What did you think of Hellblade?
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
If you go to my YouTube channel, it is actually one of my top games of 2018.
Yes.
2018? Yes.
Was that when you played it or when it came out?
No, I did not play it when it came out. None of the games in my best of 2018 video are actually from 2018.
I love your top 10 video. I think it was top 5 video. And also, they're always interesting games. Like every now and again, I'll get an email from Steam saying Echo is now on sale, and I was like, oh god, yeah, that's that game I saw Flighty review, and I really enjoyed it.
You have to play that game. It's so good.
Pretty much every time I see your top 5 videos of the year or whatever, it's always games half of them are games I've never heard of, or the ones that I hadn't really been interested in, but you've managed to put like a really good argument, and I end up wanting to play them.
Yeah, I have a way with words. That's one of the reasons why I like to review games, but I can only review games that I like. Unless a game pisses me off so bad that it gives me something to say. Otherwise, it's, I don't want to waste my energy on it.
Before I ask what game has pissed you off so much, Bailey makes a good point. How do we find you? Oh, we're just flying over Stansted Airport, by the way. If anybody wants to know where we are on the, because I should really maybe bring this up occasionally in there, because I will be uploading this to all the podcast areas. So yeah, we are currently flying over Stansted Airport, which always surprises me just how far away from London it is, despite Stansted people thinking us being London. But yeah, we are already at Stansted. We're
You know,
approaching like halfway.
when I visited the UK a handful of years ago, I was so surprised at how small it is over
Oh yeah,
there.
we're cramped in.
I took the train from basically one end of England to the other, and it took so little time. I was prepared to sit on a
Well,
train
that's lucky.
for like 12 hours at a pop, but like, I was on the other end of the country by
Must
the
be
end
on
of
a
the day.
fast train line because it's quite
Yeah.
a lot of the time. Yeah, it'll take me as long. Yeah, so when I lived in London, I used to go back up north to Doncaster, and that train would take an hour and a half. But it's also like an hour and a half to go from one small town to another small town. So it definitely varies based on which area of the country you're going from. Also, like if you want to drive to North Wales, if you want to take the train to North Wales from South Wales, you have to go via England. That's like how bad the train service is in. It's not as bad as Ireland though. Ireland's like so if you put your hand to one side, it's like that. They're the train lines. So all the train lines go via Dublin, pretty much. I think they have added one or two since. But it's, yeah, if you want to go slightly north, you have to go all the way pretty much to Dublin and then go and take another train line from there back. It's a pain. But anyway, Flight, what is your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel username is ThatFlightyBroad as well. There as well, like spelled correctly.
Not like your Twitter, which is
Yeah, no, not like my Twitter.
The Twitter,
Yeah, it's the same as my Twitch, and gosh, I'm currently working on a couple of gameplay videos. I have a series that I'm trying to get out called Handful of Horror.
Horror. She said. Handful of horse. That sounds. Handful of horse sounds like a really interesting. I don't think you have to get away with that on YouTube. Definitely not on Twitch.
I have to I think you can see it in my last Handful of Horror video. I have a difficult time pronouncing it there too.
Oh, really? You need to get both websites, Handful of Horror and the other, to make sure people don't make any mistakes when they get that. That's the next Leisure Suite Larry game, Danny May says.
Yeah.
Handful of Horror. Oh, brilliant. And so what game has angered you so much that you made a video about it?
I didn't make a video about it, but I had a lot to say about the game Republique. Which, as I understand, it's very Watch Dogs-like in that you are the person who's like hacking into cameras and like security systems, and you're helping to guide someone else out of a high security area. And there was just something about that game that just it wasn't rewarding enough, I think, and that's why it made me so mad. Because you went around to so many different areas and you had a really interesting premise. Like, I love dystopian sci-fi. I love like learning about how that particular world got to where it was, and like you kind of following that story, but they were giving me nothing at all, and it was just a frustrating control system. And I was going to do a video on how like that game had been ported over from a cell phone game, and then they ported the port over to VR. No, I'm sorry. They ported the port over to PS4, and they were all the same game using like all the same code, and they were charging like $30 for the game each time, and that was frustrating for me to learn. And I kind of wanted to like do research into that, and I was like white hot about that whole thing. But then, like, you know, the flame that burns too bright burns itself out very quickly, so I kind of like lost my momentum for that.
Oh, did you not make it in the end? Because I feel that like angry videos are the ones that get all the views.
Yeah, definitely. I spoke to you a lot on Click Play about the stream coach phenomenon and how angry that made me, and I did so much research to do a video for it. And then I kind of sat back and I like wrote the script for it. It was a good like 100,000 word script. Like
Wow.
I was into it, but I kind of like stepped back and I looked at it and I was like, this is not productive.
Hundred
This
thousand pound, yeah, 100,000 words of you going fucking you.
basically, the good thing about that is that it helped me kind of like flex my research muscles. I was able to like articulate why, in particular, something bothered me, which is something that I have difficulty doing, kind of on the regular. So it was a really good exercise, but ultimately it didn't like bloom into a finalized project. Um, and uh, that is something I would urge like anybody else who does like video essays to kind of take into account. There are a lot of really shitty, poorly formulated takes on YouTube. Excuse me. And I think it's because a lot of people, when they do research, they have an idea. They're angry about something, for example, like I was, and then they do research looking for confirmation bias, which
Okay.
is where you're specifically looking for research to back up your opinion rather than looking at all of the research. Um, and like you have to keep in mind that like when you start doing research, you might disprove yourself while you do it, and you might either have to make a different thing or you just have to scrap the initial project. And
Mm.
it takes a lot of time to do stuff like that. So I guess the advice that I would give to anybody there, and really in regards to any kind of creative endeavor, up to including streaming, is that you should expect to have to start over from scratch at least once. Just kind of get that expectation in your mind, because then it will be less frustrating when you
Per,
do have to start over from scratch. You'll be like, okay, I got it done. I got the false start. Let's do the real thing
is it a
now.
false start per video or just when you're of a video in general in your career?
It really can be on a video to video basis.
Yeah.
The 2018 top 3 video is what I made. Started as a top 10 video, but then all of the segments that I filmed got corrupted.
Oh.
That was about 80 hours of work and frustration down the drain.
Is that where you got lots of pictures behind you? Are they hiding holes in the wall from you punching that wall?
Oh, back here.
Yeah. You look so confused then. Like, yeah. Have you got that? Do you lift every time you lift a picture up? There's just a hole in the wall from because I would have broken things if I'd wasted 80 hours of my time.
I definitely like there is a lot of like this going on for like an hour.
Oh no.
Just kind of like
Oh.
I don't typically get very like visibly angry, despite certain people trying to provoke that out of me. As I recall, a certain someone gifted me Outlast 2, expecting to be very upset about it on stream, and then got annoyed with me when I finished it in a short amount of time and actually enjoyed it.
Wow. Outlast 2, I really like the premise of that, like being about a cult. I know I find cults quite interesting because we don't really have them over here, but like in the US, there's always stories, you know, about the various like, cults and groups and.
We have so many cults over here. Like now that you say that out loud, like it's fucking ridiculous.
And that's why we find it kind of very interesting here when that happens to like an Outlast that's like set inside a cult and stuff. I find that really, really interesting. And yeah, by the way, we're just flying over. We're about to get to the coast of England. We're about to leave England.
Uh-oh.
Or Bingland, Bengland. We don't want to be exiting my glands.
As I understand, you don't have to have that checked out until you're 50. So.
No. And isn't it? Yeah, they just let it all out, and then you go, no, that's it, that's done. You don't need to be. You don't need it regularly.
I mean, you could pay somebody to take care of it for you, but
yeah, he's got 5 more years. So how dare you? So you said you put most game into Mass Effect 2. What about Warframe? Because I know you play a lot of Warframe, or you used to anyway. Do you still play that?
I do still play Warframe. I kind of, because of the COVID epidemic going on, I very much like a bunch of other people have been looking for escapes from reality, because reality sucks, especially here in the US for a multitude of reasons. So Warframe was very much like I clung is the word I think
Clung
I'm
is
looking
correct,
for.
yeah.
I clung to Warframe very, very tightly.
Cling, clang, clung. I think that's the phrase. Yeah, clang. I
Yeah,
clang to
yeah.
Warframe. Yeah.
And I oh shit. See, this is already getting to me.
That's right. I just admired the fact that Bayleaf, I think, got his first ban in the chat. He banned somebody for the first time. Congratulations, Bayleaf.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Like getting a first ban as a mod is just because you another disclosure here, Flighty is also a mod here. Isn't it wonderful when you ban somebody?
Oh my god, it feels so, just the first time even, it's just like you're holding that hammer above everybody's head. It's like a game of whack-a-mole, and then finally you get it the one day, and it's just it's so good. It's a rush.
Billy says get out of bed. No, I didn't mean like, oh, it's his first time he's done it. He does I gotta say, Bayleaf does so much behind the scenes. Like he prepares scenes and stuff for me. And I've totally forgotten that my my alerts are still on. I told you I would forget. I told the chat I would forget about it. But yeah, thank you very much for the follow. I think that's correct. Yeah. No, he does a lot behind the scenes. Also, kind of, is someone great to talk to about stuff that, you know, if I just, you know, is this good? Do you think this is bad? I'll talk to him about that. So I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it like that. Overlay. You know, the overlay was gone because I was lifting up the OBS. I said, this is a pilot episode. This is not meant to be perfect. We'll hopefully have Flighty again when we're flying over the US.
Ben, wouldn't every episode be a pilot episode?
That would, yeah. But I'm not doing much piloting. I'm just sitting back here and chatting to you. So, FlightyBroad, what would you say are your top 3 games of all time?
Of all time?
Of all time.
God.
I sent you the list of questions. It was on there. I don't know if you...
when I sat down today at 3 o'clock here, I was like, okay, I have an hour. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write down my answers to these questions so I can be super prepared. And then I saw your message and I was like, fuck.
Yeah. So I sent Flighty a message saying, oh, are we ready? And she's like, oh, we got an hour. I was like, damn, I just finished the game, unfortunately.
Like, oh man, I'm on top of it today. Woo! And then, no, I absolutely was not.
That's fine. But Chris Caution, hello to you. He says, where are we flying to? We are flying from Cardiff to Amsterdam. We've just flown over. Let's see if I can. I think if I press this button, we can see. Yeah, we're just leaving the UK, and we're now heading in the direction of Amsterdam. We can smell it already. We're flying. We're going to be landing and then flying again. So, yeah, what would you say are your top 3? Let's go in 3rd place.
Third
really
place.
On the spot, you're going to forget like a really popular game that you like, aren't you? Doing this.
Honestly, it changes so often. Like I have like a list in my Google Docs that is like all of the games that I have played that are notable to me, and then I try to rank them. They change so often because I change so often. But definitely, let me see. Alien Isolation was absolutely wonderful. I am a huge Alien fangirl. My first crush, speaking of LGBTQIA+, was Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver from Alien. Because, oh my god, she's such a badass. And like, Alien Isolation was like playing through an Alien movie. You were very much in an Alien movie, and that was just a wonderful experience for me.
That sounds amazing. Although, did you hear about Alien Isolation?
No.
So I promised at 6666 followers I would play a horror game, and the horror game was Alien Isolation. And I lasted 2 hours and was like, fuck this. And
the story is so good. And you know what's funny about Alien Isolation? There is a survival mode that a lot of people do not know is there, because by the end of the campaign, people are like, no, I'm done. I don't care.
Yeah.
I did the thing, no more. but the survival mode is actually a lot of fun. I'm a big horror fan.
Yeah.
I'm also a big horror fan.
Aura. We say
Aura.
aura.
I'm a big horror
without
fan.
the H. Aura. Scary movie. Scary game fan.
Yes, absolutely. I like to consider myself to be a amateur scholar of the horror genre. 'Cause I watch and I like legitimately study horror. So that was definitely, I don't know if I would put that as number 3, but it's definitely up on that list for sure.
Scared the shit out of me, that game did. I was absolutely terrified, and I was terrified before I even got to the alien. And then I stupidly made the I stupidly said, okay, this game's scary, I need to get through it quickly. Feel free to backseat in the chat. And they did backseat, obviously, which I asked for, but they also were like, oh my god, you are useless at this. You are terrible. Why? So I was like, okay, I know I'm bad at this, but you're not making it any better. I'm just getting even more anxious and more stressed.
Yeah.
But I think I will. Oh my god, the dog's farted.
Oh,
I don't know where he is, but I get that's the odor Atty right now.
Atticus.
But I would have probably gone through it, but then in the chat, Moni does stuff, and Canadian Book Girl donated so I could download and buy Resident Evil 3 Remake. And I played Resident Evil 3 Remake. I'm going to finish it at Halloween because that game, and I don't like horror games, but that game is so much fun. Now he's at the door, obviously trying to ruin this podcast. Atty, get in your basket. You farted. You're not leaving. You're going to sit in your smell. You are not. Atty, get in your basket. You're going to own that smell. You can't fart and then go. Now he's at the door going, can I get out now? It stinks in here. Static says, always blaming the dog. I'm not. Get in your basket. In your basket. Get in. Get in there.
Oh.
Get in there.
I have someone in my basket over here too, but y'all can't see him. Mr. Man.
Get in there. Don't you look at me like that. Oh, dear me. I'm gonna have to let him out. I'll have to let him out of the plane. Flighty, what would you say is your but have you played Resident Evil 2 or 3 Remake?
No, I haven't. I really want to.
2 is brilliant.
Is it really?
It's phenomenal, and I hate horror games. So for me to say a horror game is phenomenal, it has to like blow me out of the park for me to enjoy.
Did you enjoy 7 too? I think.
I love 7 as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved 7. I think 2 Remake is maybe more fun for everybody because like the third person perspective is great. Whereas Resident Evil 7, one of the reasons why I absolutely loved Resident Evil 7 is that I played it in VR. And that was like a completely new experience, like a totally a totally different gaming experience, like playing on Switch, having something that can be on the TV and handheld, or the move from a 2D game like a SNES or it's out the door now, or a SNES or these type of things to a 3D polygon game, like the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1. It is that much of a different and surreal experience that kind of made it that much better for me. But yeah, sure. Resident Evil 2 is just phenomenal, and it's also 60 FPS on the base PS4, which I appreciate any game that will go for frame rate.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, so what would you say is your Resident Evil 2 and 3 definitely wait for a sale because it's very short. Wait, tell you what, one second, let me just go and let the rat out.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Literally any question you have. It can be lewd, it can be
it's a long drop into the North Sea, but Atty's gone for a walk.
I thought that you were gonna like parachute out, like take him to like a park or something.
Oh no, I can see him. There we go.
There we go.
There we are, right into the sea. What will be your second? Because we've only got 91 nautical miles. We started off at 316, so we are. I hope I get to join. I hope you get to join me on quite a long trip because I feel like we've got loads to talk about in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just let me know.
Then we'll do the top 20 games. Yeah, that'll kill some time.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Flighty's 20. Are we going to circle Amsterdam? No, because we'll end up in the canal in Amsterdam. So we're definitely not doing that. We'll just go straight to the airport.
I looked this up the other day. I think there's over like 1,000 kilometers of canal, like because they wind around each other. And
Wow.
there's also the poles that hold up. I think there's maybe like 10,000 poles that hold the city up over the canal.
Wow. I love that
So
somebody was like, one of the questions in a pub quiz once was like, what's the largest man-made structure on Earth? And someone said the Netherlands. He's like, yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
boo.
Mo. Oh, damn. So what would you say is your second favorite game of all time?
Second favorite game. Oh man, Death Stranding sure is. Like I know I'm playing it right now, and I know I'm not done with it yet. But the premise of the game is wonderful. The execution of the game is perfect. It hits all of the perfect weird notes for me. Like the fact that you are basically a mailman, and
Yeah.
you like hit the mundanity of like carrying packages back and forth, and you just have like monsters like thrown in there, and you look utterly ridiculous while you're doing it, but it all still makes such good sense.
Mm.
And we were actually talking about this last night while I was on my way to Mountain Knot City. There are parts of the landscape in that game, like obviously you have these beautiful natural vistas that were inspired by Iceland.
Yeah.
But every now and again, you come across these like kind of elephant graveyards of like the bones of buildings,
Mm.
man-made structures that were destroyed in the apocalypse, basically. And they're stark and they're beautiful and they have like these supernatural tendrils like hanging off of them. And it doesn't give you enough information to tell you what the building was, why it was there, but the silhouette of it against the landscape, like
Mm.
it's just so interesting the way they kind of silently build the story for you, underneath the crazy ass Kojima storyline.
Yeah. I love that game. That was my game of the year last year. 100% my game of the year. I love it. There are people who hate it, and I understand it's not for everybody. It's also bizarrely kind of like during lockdown, the people that were the most important people were the ones that were delivering food and stuff, because you could go to the supermarket, but a lot of people
Right.
got food delivered. I actually discovered Deliveroo thanks to that, and that's why I have wine tonight. I got someone literally came about an hour ago with 2 hours ago with a bottle of wine for me. So that is literally like why I have some wine tonight, because I've discovered that through that. But like, yeah, people, post-apocalyptic, you can't leave your house, you're stuck, and then there's this one person going and delivering packages. I mean, that's completely
Yeah, it's so apropos of our situation, and it does kind of give me the kind of freedom, because you are essentially the most powerful person in the world, as I keep calling him Norman Reedus, but that's not his name in the game. Sam Porter Bridges.
Sam
Norman
Porter
Reedus.
Bridges. Keep on keeping on.
You are essentially the most powerful person in the world, but you are still not that powerful compared to the things. Like, you can still die by falling off the side of a mountain very foolishly, as I have definitely not done 8 times so far.
Keep on keeping on. It's just yeah, no, that game is brilliant. The music I feel is perfect. Like,
Yes,
they just,
absolutely.
because you go on an epic, that's one of the reasons why I loved playing the main story, because when I was going on an epic journey, I knew that every now and again I would I would encounter just an amazing story. Have you been you'll have been, so you've been to Mountain Knot City, which is right up at the top of the mountain. That must have taken when I got there, I remember Jordan once, so the co-host of the Click Click Play podcast, which is one that I did before. It's now dead. But he told me, he was like, "Oh, you see that mountain up there? You're gonna go up there." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna go up there, up that mountain." And then as I played the game more and more, and I eventually got round the other side of the mountain, and then you had to make your way up and stuff. And I got there, and then this music was kicking in. It blew me away. But it is, like I say, it's not for everybody, is it? But it's definitely a game that's just so chilled and laid back, and you can play it, and there are definitely moments that are really tense, but there's also all that time where it's just kind of repetitive. Like, you're holding down the shoulder buttons, or if you're using mouse and keyboard, you're not. Although you played a mouse and keyboard, didn't you? How are you able to relax so much with that? Because I love the controller where I was just like holding some buttons and I was just moving at a steady pace.
the Xbox controller that I have on my PC, it turns my brain off just a little too much, and that is how I fall off the sides of mountains.
Mhm.
So that's why like the keyboard and mouse provides a little bit more of a tactile experience, also tactical, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it like, and I also have a better sense of the momentum. Momentum is your worst enemy in that game. Like
Mm.
okay, there are monsters, there's like terrorists or whatever, but momentum is what really will kill you in that game. If you have, 10 kilos of something on your back, even if it's just that little, like, and you're running down a hill, if you want to stop before that sheer cliff at the end of that hill, you need to like start putting on the brakes about halfway down that hill, or you will go flying.
Yeah. I just find it so relaxing. You'll have unlocked a zip line, won't you? I don't know if I've told Pony, and I'm not going to show it until you've both finished, although it's not any spoilers. But the first map, I positioned zip lines in such a perfect area that I can go anywhere in the whole map without touching the ground.
Oh my god,
and
awesome.
That's one way to get the platinum. Let's just say if you can whiz around the entire map there and getting 5-star deliveries every single time on hard mode, because you're not even going past any of the bosses, well, you are going just straight past them in the air, then it's brilliant. It's something that I didn't even touch till afterwards as well. So
yeah, I've been trying to...
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry,
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I've been trying to set up as many zip lines as possible, especially to go to the annoying areas. And like, I'm not real good at planning that stuff, so I'll have like 2 zip lines maybe like 10 meters apart because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting the hang of it. So.
It's later on when you don't have enough bandwidth that you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to redo all of these. What would you say then is your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game of all time, you'll have to forgive me for not being able to remember right away.
That's fine. You enjoy that bourbon.
Favorite game of all time. This technically is 3 games, but the Dishonored series, I think, is my favorite of all time.
I enjoy watching you play that stealthily.
Dishonored, yeah, stealthily. I tried real hard. Dishonored 2, and Death of the Outsider were all really wonderful games. They had it's like running around in an oil painting. There were so many different ways that you could like find your way around the environments. Sorry, that's my cat coughing.
It's better than a dog farting.
It was especially fun going through environments the first time because I would I would finish the objective and then I would like try to find my way out, and then I would see like 3 different ways that I could have done it instead of the way that I did before. And I thought that's excellent environment design, and it took a lot of planning and forethought. There are amazing characters that you get to meet, and the way that they tell the story about the world around you is the subtlety of it is just so impressive. Because I mean, you can whiz through those games easily and still have a good time, but if you take your time to like look at the items in the world, to look at the paintings on the walls, to kind of like observe the architecture and stuff, a lot of really deliberate choices were made, and it's just I love it when games and their designers like really like show that they know their stuff when they do stuff like that.
That's what I really appreciate about your streams. What I really like about your stream is you don't rush through. You don't care about whizzing through it to so people will be people who are just watching in the chat can be like they're not going to fall asleep, or they're not going to find something a bit boring. You're like, what, I'm going to enjoy this game. I paid $60 for it, whatever. I'm going to be enjoying and I want to take in everything from that world. Have you ever played The Witcher 3?
I haven't. I have it installed.
Because you're
and
going
I'm
to take
trying,
like 1,000 hours playing that game, I swear.
I'm trying to decide if I want to play that on stream or not, because as I understand, I've got hundreds of hours ahead of me if I do that.
You do it. Also, there's going to be like an upgraded version or something coming out later in the year that's going to be available for PC as well, and it's going to also have a free upgrade.
Oh shit.
So
Okay,
I would hold off on that. But it's
I'll put it on hold.
phenomenal. But they have like books and stuff that you can pick up and read in there. So I'm looking forward to it. But that's what I loved about when you were playing Death Stranding. Like you were reading all the emails and you were like going through all of the extra stuff. And that's what I did as well when I played it, because I love that world so much. And like, so if I were to play Dishonored, because now like Bayleaf in the chat is just beside himself with Dishonored talk as well. And it's kind of making me think, because I've got all the Dishonored games. I bought them on PlayStation because there was a special sale on, and there's the definitive edition out, and Dishonored 2, and I think... Is there a third one? No, it's just Dishonored 2 that was quite recent that came out.
Death of the Outsider. I thought that it was a like a DLC for Dishonored 2, but it's actually like its whole own game.
Bailey said, but Ben, it's a stealth game. I hear that it's initially a stealth game until it becomes not a stealth game. I've seen Flighty play Dishonored before.
I mean, like, yeah, like...
And John, I'm pretty sure.
I can try. I tried really hard,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, like...
That was me playing Metal Gear Solid 5. It was it was not punishing when you broke stealth in that game. I would be running and there'd be 10 people shooting at me and I somehow wouldn't die. So going to the final bits of games that we're talking about, we know one of the questions was what game are you playing now? We know Death Stranding. What future games are you looking forward to? Like we've missed, unfortunately, we have missed the. Oh, I should have said like, yeah, you have an extra hour and we can watch this together on stream. But the Ubisoft press conference or the Ubisoft thing was going on right now. You know, believe accusers, screw Yves Guillemot and all that, etc., etc. It's a very scummy thing they did today. So they addressed some more abuse and all this stuff. But they released it as a 4-minute video on Twitter, like an hour or two before this Ubisoft press conference. So just so that it would get hidden and people wouldn't notice it. But yeah, fuck Ubisoft. I do like Ubisoft games though, which is so annoying. What future games are you looking forward to playing and streaming?
Speaking of Ubisoft, I with my CPU, I got a free code for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yes.
So I'm curious about that one. I don't know if I'm excited about it per se.
Get your Viking shawl out from Hellblade. Get that back out.
yeah. Like the the white half of my family is largely Norwegian, so like, you know, that is particularly interesting to me. But I am looking forward to playing Control on stream, and
so good, that game.
Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm looking forward to playing on stream as well.
If you like you were talking about Death Stranding, how you can see like the results of a civilization and it gone past it, and you can just see where things have been. Horizon Zero Dawn's got it everywhere. Yeah, you'll like that. I think I would definitely wait a little bit with Horizon Zero Dawn because I hear that the PC port's a bit dodgy and crashes and various things. But hopefully they'll get some fix to that. But I think you'll love Control. What about what's your game of the year so far? Would you say it was Death Stranding then, from what you've played?
Definitely Death Stranding so far. I am never really on top of, like, I'm not on the bleeding edge of gaming like you are, Ben. I do tend to wait because I do know that, like, you know, patches and I do like to like other people can be the guinea pigs for games, and then I can kind of like you know, swoop in there, and that's probably another reason why I don't get too many viewers, because like I will wait 8 months to play a game. And like
some people like that. Like I've had it where I've played, for example, I played Until Dawn last Christmas, and people tuned in because they'd already seen it and they wanted to see like how I played it.
Okay, that's cool.
Have you played Until Dawn actually? I think it's on the PlayStation.
I haven't. I'm a little familiar with the premise, and I do know that I have some favorite actors who are actually like mocapped into that game.
Yeah. You'd like
so
that.
That's very exciting for me, and I hear that it's like a choose your own adventure game.
It's, yeah, you definitely, I don't know if it's choose your own, well, it kind of, yeah, because you have to make decisions, and then those decisions will either, yeah, you could end up with some people dead or not dead.
Okay.
I played that game and I got nearly everybody through alive, and then the final like 5 minutes, about half the people died. I was like, damn it, I was doing so well.
Some classic Ben shit right there.
Right at the end, it's like, okay, you got to make these 10 decisions, and I'm pretty sure I picked the wrong decision on like 9 out of 10 of those decisions. Shall I run? Yeah, run. Okay, a beam fell down and killed him. Okay, right. What about the next one? Yeah. Do I shoot the gun? Yeah, shoot the gun. Oh no, somebody thought you were about to kill them, and now they've killed you. Okay, great. Yeah. So it was just death after death after death. Now, do you have what are your streaming plans for the future? We are currently fewer than 20 nautical miles from Schiphol. It'll take a little while for me to eventually, it looks like we're very, very close, but trust me, once I'm bouncing down the runway and all that stuff, it'll take a while before I'm pogoing like a kangaroo down the runway.
Every year around this time, I am invited to participate in a local art show called the Tiny Art Show, and it's basically a group of local artists who make tiny pieces of art that are priced lower than $100. It's basically like a holiday market thing for original art. So this month and next month, I will be, when I'm not playing Death Stranding, I will be working on a bunch of dirty embroidery pieces.
Yes.
On stream. Lots of filthy words. I'm thinking of maybe branching into a detailed and graphic anatomy this year. So we'll see how that goes.
My friend does that. She does little felt vaginas and badges. Yeah.
And my birthday is coming up next month, and I would like to do some kind of charity drive on stream for that. So I'm still kind of ironing out the kinks there and trying to figure out how I'm going to like advertise for that. So follow me on Twitter and keep an eye out and stuff.
Well, ThatFlightyBroad, but without the A. ThatFlightyBroad. Like, were you working on the embroidery stuff yesterday when I was watching you? Because you were making. What was the phrase you came up with?
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out. Yes, that was it. Yeah. That's the theme of Flighty Stream. Fuck around and find out. Yeah. You want to know what the game's about? Fuck around and find out.
The scientific method. Fuck around, find out.
It is. What are your your streaming plan? What are your goals when it comes to, like, are you hitting your goals? What you want from Twitch?
I would like to get more viewers so I can get a bit more of a platform, because there are causes that I like to stand for.
Yeah.
There is, I am a sex worker. I like to stand for sex workers' rights. I'm pro-union, pro-workers' rights. I'm pro, sex education. So there are things like that I would like to kind of like spread out into the world a little bit better. So that's one of my goals, is to, try and attract more viewers. And also, on the topic, one of my biggest goals that I'm going to try to actively work towards this year is to get a sponsorship from my favorite anal lube maker, Boy Butter.
Boy Butter.
When you want to butter your partner's buns, go for Boy Butter.
Boy Butter. You will get a sponsorship, I'm sure.
And you know what? They don't even have to pay me. They don't have to send me any like samples. I just want to be able to tell people, yeah, they're my sponsor. And when they ask them on Twitter, they'll be like, yeah, we're her sponsor. And like, that's all I want.
Do they have an official, do they have an official Twitter account?
They do, yes. And I tweeted at them saying, if you're looking for a sex positive streamer person to sponsor, hit me up. And they liked that tweet. So
if you do tweet that again, we will happily, encourage that and join. Yeah, we will retweet it and reply and like, oh my God, you'll be a perfect person.
Oh shit. Yeah, that would be wonderful. This is a group project that I would like to get going. It's not just me. It's not about me. It was never about me.
Yeah, we will do it. Also, I'm getting to the pattern entry. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like my 988 feet. I think I'm a little bit. I'm okay at decent altitude. Yeah, there's my pattern entry. I'm not sure exactly where I'm meant to be going. Also, my computer is going a bit haywire, so this will be interesting.
So are you doing this manually now?
I'm doing this manually, yeah, and it's causing my computer to go a little bit, not to enjoy itself. I think I'm meant to land down on this runway. Should we just go for this random one? Oh, which runway is it? Prepare to land at
There's perfectly good highways right there.
Yeah, I'll just land on whatever. I'm definitely lowering the graphical stuff now. Oh God, we finished. I'm glad. Oh, wait, I've still got my drink. Wait a minute. Just as I get to landing.
Land wherever. They'll never catch us. They'll never catch us alive.
Oh crap! I'm going a bit down too
Can't
fast
make
then.
us not land where we don't want.
Where am I meant to land? I'm not sure. I could put like the AI on, but no. Where's the fun in that? So this is going to be a regular thing as well, I think. Pick a green strip there, wider. No, I'm not picking the green strip. All right, I'm parachuting out. Fuck this, says Annie. Stall. Okay, we're stalling. That's great. Stall. Oh, that's a very small runway. I don't want to go for that one. I don't want to end up in a canal. If I end up in a canal, I mean, that would be very Dutch of me, but I'm not doing that.
It would, you know, be some really nice symmetry.
It would. I'm pretty sure, like, it's one of those games where you just pick a runway. I'm pretty sure that's what you're meant to do when you're flying an airplane. Is just like pick a runway to land on.
In real life as well, yes.
Yeah. Just pick it. I accidentally pressed a button. I have no idea, and I'm getting messages that I'm stalling now. Wonderful. What's that over there? I don't think that's where I'm meant to land. Okay, well, we're going down.
Wow, look at this beautiful countryside.
Brace, brace, brace.
Oh my gosh.
I'm off. Love landing in my neighbour's garden, yeah. Right, okay, we're going to runway 2. Where's that one then? Oh dear. Oh dear, we're stalling a little. I don't think I'm meant to be doing that. Let's go and put the speed up a bit. Oh dear. Oh, actually, no, we get into a runway. There's a runway there. That'll do. Hey, look at this.
God.
Look at this. This is working. This is exactly how you meant to land a plane. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Hey. Oh, I did it. I did it. Where's the button to stop? Where's the brake button? Isn't there a brake button here? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
We made it. Yeah, I went for the green parts. The green parts were much better.
Asphalt.
There we go. We made it. We made it. Hey, look at that. We landed. Oh, no, that's going off to the left now for some reason. I'm pressing the button. I think that's the brake button. Maybe it's not.
I do believe the kids call that a trick landing.
Dave? Yeah?
Not a bad landing, a trick landing.
Trick. We landed sideways, yeah.
Like, yeah, get down there on just the one wheel.
I don't know why I'm veering off to the left. I think that's because I'm not meant to land there. Well, that worked. There we go. We've got Atty here as well to reduce the throttle.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. All right, just cross here. We don't mind. Oh dear, what happened there? Okay.
Oh.
Oh. I don't know why it's doing this. It won't stop. Let's put the AI on. It's not stopping for some reason. Right. AI can be in control now. Well, we made it. Oh dear, there's a car. There's a car. There we are. Oh. I think that worked well. I think, yeah. I just landed on the Zwandenbergarn, apparently, whatever that is. Oh, I've never seen a more precise visual representation of how Benax. Yeah. It's like, that'll do. That'll do. It's just physically impossible.
No casualties. I think that's a win.
I think so, yeah. Going in sideways, landing, yeah, on its side. This landing was the equivalent of Flighty carrying 70 kilos of used grenades on her back on a steep mountain. Yeah, pretty much, as we went down. You okay? Yeah, I'm going to finish soon, don't worry. All right, so, Flighty, how do we find you on Twitch and everywhere else?
Well, I am ThatFlightyBroad on Twitch and over on YouTube as well. You can also please talk to me on Twitter, ThatFlightyBroad, and I may actually. I was going to say that I'm going to stream a little bit, but I think I'm actually going to take tonight off and do a little prep work. But I will be streaming my embroidery stuff tomorrow at around noon Central Standard Time. So if you want to come and hang out with me there, I will be available tomorrow as well.
That is 6 p.m. British time. And yeah, because now we work at... You're 6 hours ahead of me, aren't you?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, well, Flighty, thank you so much for joining me for this pilot episode.
Thank you for
Cardiff
having
to
me.
Amsterdam. We're now in
It's been
Amsterdam.
much too long.
It has. I'm not sure where we are. I think we landed on a... Well, that doesn't look very safe. I don't know why there is a highway going across the runway, but it works apparently. There we go.
Who put that there?
That's a very bad idea. But yeah, this is... I'll get to work on improving my landing, I think, for next time. And I'll try and work out what the brake button is, because it's not the button I thought it was. Which is not a good idea. Mr. Wibble, who is Dutch, says next to the A5, probably. Also, Annie, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Very, very kind. We're in a no parking zone. Okay, we better get moving. I turned the AI on. Apparently, AI doesn't taxi things for you. So that's great. But yeah, thank you very much, Flighty.
It was good meeting y'all. Good seeing y'all. And thanks for having me.
Thank you.